Carl? You all good?
Yeah,
You have a
I'm
good
very
Christmas,
happy.
New Year, and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's great. I've had two Christmases. Wonderful.
Feels like forever, hasn't it, again?
Yeah, the month of January's gone on for like 4 months, so it's a bit
Oh,
bit
no,
dragged.
yeah. We're at the end, but still feels like we're in the middle of January, doesn't it? Never ending. But at
Absolutely.
least with January, you get the good season of Royal Rumble,
We do indeed.
you
The
know,
road.
WrestleMania and all that, shizzle.
Yeah, I can't
But,
wait. Looking forward to it. Looking
yeah.
forward to the Rumble tomorrow.
Well, this is the most excited Rumble, I think, in ages. Like, the way there's just so much going on, you don't know who's going to win. There's just so much. Even like just before coming on the podcast, I was listening to What Culture, and they're saying supposedly they've changed the main event again for WrestleMania for both nights. So now it's supposedly going to be CM Punk versus Cody and The Rock versus Roman.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
And then I think it's who did they say Gunther's versus? Not Drew Mac. I think maybe
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre. Yeah. So it sounds interesting. Like, but then again, last week, supposedly The Rock gave Cody his blessing and said, I'm gonna let you finish your story. So you don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? And with everything happening with Vince yesterday as well, it's an interesting random week, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't touch on the Vince.
No, that's just way too much realisticness in our kayfabe wrestling. You know what I mean?
We should wait for that to settle and then have a discussion about it.
Wait for it to settle. Yeah, I don't think it's going to settle, but yeah.
We
So
can't afford to be sued by Vince McMahon.
no. Right, you could try, but you have to find us first. Also, for like 4 or 5 viewers, I don't think we're going to be high on his list.
No one's going
So
to
yeah.
grasp us.
So predictions, ideas, final four, and all that bullshit.
Do you want to go men's rumble first?
Why not? Go on then. So, what you feeling?
I'm feeling that CM Punk's probably going to win,
Yes.
even though it shouldn't be him. It should be
What?
It should be Walter. It's Walter's year. Sorry,
Yeah,
Gunther. You get confused. It's
no.
Gunther's time.
Each year's coming next year. You know, I mean, you got to still think he's still got his Intercontinental belt. He's still got like probably this match with Brock if that happens because of everything that we just mentioned. That's up in the air. That's why I think now course correction with Drew McIntyre instead. So yeah, I think next year's his year. If I don't see in the next 2 years him world champion, there's something wrong, or universal champion, there's something wrong. But I don't think it's his year. It's got to be Cody or CM Punk's year, and me.
I don't think they'll go back to back, Cody.
No, well, you never know. But for me, with Cody, you don't have to have him win the Royal Rumble. It's the Elimination Chamber. You could have Punk win this Royal Rumble. He goes to WrestleMania. Then you have the Elimination Chamber. Have Cody win that instead. Even with Roman, you don't really need him to win anything anyway. With the way he's got the beef with him and stuff. You know what I mean? There's still, he's there.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I'd like Gunther to win it, but I can only see Punk.
Yeah, it's Punk's year. Hopefully, with he can finally have his WrestleMania main event, night 1 or night 2, whichever.
Then he can happily retire.
Not yet. Supposedly he's got like he's signed a 3-year contract or something. If I've heard that right. So take that as you will. He could retire after that. He could extend it. He's still only in his mid to late 40s. And I think most, it's not like the old days where you get to a certain age and just go, well, all the steroids kick in and shit, all that stuff. Where with Punk, I know he's accident prone now, but he's still healthy looking. He's looking more healthy than he did in AEW. AEW just looked like he's burnt out and everything, but he looks full of energy. We won't know until we see a proper match, I guess, or how he fares in the Rumble.
But, who do you think the final four will be then?
Well, my final four is going to be Punk, Cody, And originally it was going to be Randy Orton and LA Knight, but they're in the main event. So it depends where this Rumble starts the night. Then Randy and LA Knight won't be, but vice versa if this ends the night, because we know if Roman's going to like retain.
Yeah.
Shenanigans and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like something's going to happen. You got like Solo there, you know what I mean? So it depends how the card, but my original one was LA Knight, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. Because originally I was going to put Drew, but I want him to do the commando because, like he's saying, I'll leave you to last. I really hope it's his first elimination. I hope Drew McIntyre comes down, Punk throws him. Drew looks up and he goes, "I lied," and then just carries on. I don't feel that he could be at the final four, but nah. Personally, the only two I'm like sure about is CM Punk and Cody. You could throw Gunther in there as well.
Yeah, I'd have them three, Gunther, Cody, Punk, and then a bit of Jey Uso as well.
Oh yeah, didn't think that. Yeah, main event Jey. So yeah,
Jey Uso, yeah.
Just to tease it, because then you could him and Cody. Remember, there's no friends in the Rumble, but Jey and Cody. You know, the Yeet was it Yeet? Yeet, or whatever the kids say nowadays. These TikTokers with their terminologies. What about surprise? Do you feel might be the surprise? Because you gotta have a Rumble. With a Rumble, you have to have a surprise, don't you?
Can you say MJF?
If I don't know,
or is that too?
That pop, I don't know. Again, we don't know if we've been worked or what. Him like being taken off the website, that. But again, these things, as they call them, the smart mark.
Yeah,
they're not doing it for someone to go, "Oh, he's been taken off," and then have people like us on this podcast just go, "Yeah, it could be that." I'd love to see it, but you know what I mean. It's gone quiet about the big bidding war 2024, hasn't it?
The other one, but I think it's a bit too early because his contract doesn't run out, is Okada.
Oh, yeah.
Because he leaves the end of January. But would they let him go a bit early to...
Well, he was allowed to go to TNA this week, wasn't he? So he was at one of their house shows, I think. So you never know, because I know the only other one after this, he's got something in February with, was it Will Ospreay? They're both not signed with New Japan, but they've got one date left in their contract. So, but they're still going to be free agents by the end of Okada is Ospreay's AEW, isn't he now? So you never know at the end of the week. But Okada's a good shape. But again, I don't know. It's like MJF. It feels like it should happen, but nah. It's, again, never say never in wrestling. Who would have thought Punk was going to turn back WWE? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mine's more of a safe bet. It's going to be Matt Zack Ryder. You know what I mean? Matt Cardona. That's it. I don't know. Mr. Woo Woo Woo, but he won't be Mr. Woo 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 because remember he killed him on an indie show, didn't he?
This is serious.
Yeah, the indie god, isn't he? Like Indiana Jones. I don't know. It's just because again he's been hinting at stuff, but then again with Rumble season, if you put something on your Instagram story, you don't know if it's you mentioning it's going to happen or you're just trolling people.
Yeah.
So yeah. The only other safe ones are probably John Cena, because I know he says he wants to retire at 50. So what's he, 47 now, 48? So I think he got 2 to 3 years left of him. And it'd be nice for nostalgia value. Could have Punk, John looking at each other. And then, I know with the men's one, I can't think of anyone that's like a massive surprise, you know what I mean? Not like when Edge came back in 2020, or you can have some like random old school wrestler. There's no one.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone from the past that could come around and stick for a while.
Yeah. I keep saying about X-Pac, but again, he's not ring condition, you say. But again, if you ask that in an interview, of course, they're not going to go, "Oh, we are going to be in the Rumble." So you usually have to watch what people say when they go around with a question. So, yeah, he never said no. He just said, "I'm not ring ready." But you don't really need to be ring ready if your spot's like 5-10 minutes. as long as you can take the bumper from the outside, you're okay. Don't want to like mess yourself up. And I was watching some old Rumbles, and you know the way they just chuck people out and land on their heads and stuff, and you're thinking, damn. Like, and they were okay the next week. You're like, Jesus Christ, guys, your neck's supposed to be stronger than mine. My neck hurts from just watching those Rumbles.
It's going to carry on. What do you think about the women's then?
So women's, I'm going to be a bit left field because I know everyone's saying Becky. I'm saying Bailey. To me, in my little head, it just makes sense. What about yourself?
Sasha Banks.
You think she's coming back?
I think she's going to come back and win it.
That's again, you are throwing some of these bolds, you know, with this MJFness and stuff. Like, from supposedly it's a done deal with AEW, but who's to say? Until she turns up on Sunday or Wednesday.
And if it's not Sasha Banks, it's Jade Cargill.
Oh, yeah, that one's a bit more, as in winning it.
As in winning it.
Wow. I don't mind it popping up. I think it's a bit too early for. Yeah.
You could literally you've built her up, and you just put her straight in the main event scene.
I get that as a powerhouse. Yeah. I don't know. Just who would you have a verse in then? You know,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
She'll probably just squash one of them. And then
you say squash, like if she's going against Rhea, say no, Rhea.
You probably wouldn't squash Rhea.
Then would you squash, Sky?
Yeah, probably.
Right. So it might try and afford to build it up with damage control and everything, because Bailey thinks they're all best friends and stuff, but Bailey doesn't notice they're all conspiring against her. She's like the unpopular person now in the group, and she doesn't know these mean girls are gonna. That's how I see it. But again, I think maybe sometimes it makes too much sense. Is it actually gonna work that way? Because again, the Becky supposedly they want to do for Mania. But again, I don't feel Becky needs to win at Rumble because again, elimination chamber battle again, just the way they've been feuding at the moment as it is. Like as she said, like was it this week? I know you're better. I know you can beat me, but I just want to prove that I can beat you or something to that effect. So again, I don't know, but yeah, I'm sticking with Bailey. I just feel it just makes more sense. What about your final four then?
Oh,
What about?
Nah, I didn't really think about the 5 and 4 for the man. I'll throw in Jade, Sasha, Bailey, and Nia Jax.
Mine's similar. It's Nia Jax, Bailey, Becky, and Belair.
Oh, Bianca! I forgot about Bianca. She'll be strong in it.
Yeah, so I just see how it ends because again, you got to think everyone's got kind of beef in that, like Becky and Bailey, and then you got Becky and Nia and Belair. Again, they're all. I don't know. I just feel like those three would have to like gang up on Nia Jax, and then have your like little alliance for a second before they all figure out down to us three. What about surprises? I've got one, but again, it's so left field. But I feel it in my waters this year. I know I've probably been saying for the last 3-4 years.
AJ,
come on, it's the right time. You got to think. Punk's back.
If it's the time to bring her back, it would be this year.
Yeah,
she has been doing some wrestling with Punk.
She's at the most ring condition that you probably like. I would say that the last picture I saw, she looks more toned than she was in the WWE. But again, tonus doesn't say you're ring ready, but she was training. Was it for was it Heels, the TV show?
Yeah, she was fighting Punk on Instagram a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so, and I know that was for Heels, but if they can still, she can still do stuff like that. And again, she's only back for like 15, 20 minutes, get a pop, and then, even have her in the last 4, because again, she was in the transition period between Divas and what we know today, the Women's Revolution, supposedly, where people like, AJ was there from the beginning. She was trying, she was like Paige, the anti-Divas, weren't they? They were they can wrestle, You know what I mean? They're not there to dance or have jelly matches and stuff like that. Yeah. So, what about yourself? Do you agree with AJ, or have you got like
that's a good shout. That's a very good shout.
just seeing if you had another like crazy idea that could? It's just that crazy it could work.
I think Sasha and Jade is enough crazy for me.
Yeah, the Sasha one. Yeah, that's Monet, as she likes to be called nowadays. That if it's not a done deal. See, I thought supposedly she was meant to pop up a couple of Wednesdays ago, but then there was a new contract signing. So I don't know if it's all about money. Let's say, but you would think Tony Khan would have that money, but then as Trips got more up his sleeve, kind of thing. Like, if you come back, and if like say Naomi's coming back as well, supposedly.
Trips has just had a £5 billion deal off Netflix, so he's
that's what I mean.
The cockers are quite happy.
Well, yeah. So if you want to start off your next year, who are you going to get? And Sasha would be a good shout. I'm just ashamed that she had to leave in the first place. But again, creative will do what creative do, aren't they? Well, the old creative.
Vince McMahon will make you do things you don't want to do.
Yep. At least, in that respect, at least she got off a bit lighter than,
some lady called Janet.
There's no other way you can word it, can you? You can't even write this stuff like, it's just, wow.
The less you say, the better.
Well, yeah. All I'm saying, those text messages you showed me earlier from what he was saying, that's burnt in my brain.
I didn't show you any text messages. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, Twitter, X showed me some stuff. Fair play to, whoever found him and stuff. He does text like a crazy grandpa. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a 70-year-old, it's an 80-year-old man's text messages.
But fair play to him. He uses more text lingo than I use. I use you as in you, but he uses you as you. You know what I mean? Maybe he's a bit more techno-wise, but anyway, just get away from that. Change the subject, Carl.
Kevin Owens and Logan Paul.
Oh, I'm hoping Kevin Owens, but again, you don't know.
Logan Paul retains.
Do you think they're going to carry this on to Mania?
Yeah, carry on to Mania. Brass knuckles, he'll knock him out. Carry on to Mania.
Well, yeah, it's not even his brass knuckles. He's got supposedly metal in his hand, doesn't he?
Yeah, carry on to Mania, and then Kevin Owens will beat him at Mania.
Good show. I just kind of I don't know, because I haven't been watching much of the thing, because I love Kevin Owens, but I haven't been watching much of the feud, so it's just, to me, it's like a bit meh, you know what I mean? It's just like, fair play, Logan Paul has got that face where you just want to beat the shit out of him. He can wrestle.
Oh, he can wrestle really well, man.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just not.
He's a really good heel.
Yeah, he's a good heel, but again, I'm just not that invested in that. I know why they've put the belt on him, because come on, he's this trending,
He's a global name, and he brings in a different audience.
Well, it's still amazed when people at work will go, that can't be right. Like last year with Mania, when it came down with a massive Prime bottle, guy dressed up as a Prime bottle. I remember screenshotting that, sending that to someone at work. And they're like, why you photoshopped WWE at the bottom? I was like, mate, go on YouTube now. It is real. The idea that The Rock is a wrestler. I was like, but yep.
Wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say Logan winning by shenanigans.
Yeah.
To retain, and then he'll drop it at Mania.
That's good, yeah. See, that's what I haven't really been. I think the thing with the Royal Rumble, my brain just goes straight to the Royal Rumble, and sometimes you forget there's actually matches on the card. Just like watching some old Mania, some Royal Rumbles recently, and you're like, oh shit, that was on that card. But because the Royal Rumbles just take you notice.
Yeah.
What about what other matches? They got Roman's match?
The Fatal 4-Way. Roman retains.
He has to, just to carry on the story.
But I reckon at the end, Big Daddy Rock will pop out at the end to set that feud.
I don't. Because if they're not an elimination chamber, it worries me because I just want him to finish his story with Cody. But the idea that the Rock's now lingering, unless this is for next year and it's all innocence and it's just they're planning a show a year in advance. I'm all there.
Like we did with Cena.
Yeah. Like we're all like scared and assuming, oh shit, it's this. But because the Rock's now part of the fucking directors, it's not like it's going anywhere. Oh, that's what I hope. But I could see that happening. I could see like Solo coming in, Randy Orton's probably that close to an RKO or something, and then Solo spikes him or something, or Paul Heyman comes on a turnbuckle, the belt's thrown in, someone knocks out, something crazy is gonna happen. But yeah, I like the idea of the Rock. Or even we could have, fingers crossed, if it is Cody and Roman at Mania, have the Rock just stare at Roman to not see what's happening, and then Cody Cutter followed by
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know how you take the belt off Roman whilst keeping him strong, because you can't have him against the Rock for the belts.
No, because it's pointless. Because again, unless
the Rock's not going to beat him.
Well, yeah.
There's not going to put the card on the Rock.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you wouldn't have him for but then they did that crazy time when he won against CM Punk, didn't they? And he was champ for how long? And it's just
Triple H is days.
I don't know. It's just it needs to be something where, because it's been so much build, you can't have, just as you said, Roman just loses it, and then you don't want him to lose it where it's like interference, because then whoever wins feels like, oh, you can't beat Roman. You had to have interference. It's weird. It's like you need the new champ to look strong, but you need Roman, I don't know, just to be beaten. It's but yet still look strong. Unless they do like the falling of the bloodline, because you got to think you still got Jimmy with him, you still got Solo, you still got Paul Heyman. I'm still hoping Punk steals Heyman off him. So then you got Jimmy. Jimmy's probably just going to either see sense or get the shit kicked out of him, and he'll leave. It's just more him and Solo. How they're going to what's going to be the tipping point for Solo to just go, fuck this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard. The only last year was perfect build. That's how you should have ended it, because everything was just perfect. Cody winning then. And now it's another year on top of that, almost. And you're like, don't know. And him wrestling only, 30-odd days a year or something stupid. Because he's been on the show, he hasn't wrestled yet, has he, this year? I know it's only January, but still. I don't know. And then he's not even at Elimination Chamber, which is a big one because they're going to Australia. Then will he be at Money at the Bank? It's like, I don't know. It's just... Or are they just going to leave him to Mania?
We don't know.
That's the question. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I was getting scared earlier in the week with Seth. Shit. I was just thinking, you can't write it for Punk. Punk comes back. It looks like it's getting WrestleMania. Main event. Rock comes back. Okay, what's the worst that could happen? Seth bloody does his knee in against Jinder Mahal. And you're like, oh my God.
You should have hindered Ginger, man.
Yeah, mate. So I'm hoping he's still, because he's supposed to going to rest it, isn't he? He's not going to compete till Mania. He's going to rehab it. So
he might be alright.
Unless it's a crazy work and we've all been worked, and the match starts and it looks like Punk's about to win, and then somehow Seth pulls it down, does a curb stomp, and you're like, what the hell's just happened?
Yeah.
See, I'm still in that belief of, Adam Cole. He's still, he's okay. He's still playing it up. It's the problem with kayfabe, nowadays. I'm still living and dreaming it, you know what I mean? If someone says they're injured, are they? Or is this a fake injury? I've seen many a time someone comes out in a wheelchair in the old days. Was it Shawn Michaels did it to Bret Hart? Or Bret Hart did it to Shawn when he was in the wheelchair? I think back in the
Bret did it before, because then Shawn kicked him back into it.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. That kind of like, when you're pretending to be injured, and then when they least expect it, you strike. Or like Randy Orton when he looked like he was injured, but he could still do an RKO.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Maybe it's all at work. But this is why we love wrestling, the craziness of it all.
Can't wait for the Rumble tomorrow.
I know, it's just... And it's on a Saturday as well. These ones now, where they're on a Saturday, they're like a godsend, where back in the old days, Sunday leading to Monday. Say again?
I hated Sunday nights.
Oh, yeah, it's like if you, let's say, in the old days, you used to have to do stock on a Monday. So you'd be like, do a bit on the Sunday, then go and watch Mania, then wake up dead early. Or you used to have managers go, I've got a manager meeting on a Monday. You're like, you're trying to kill me.
Yeah, well, I can't work. It's Monday coming, so I'm glad. Yeah. Glad it's Saturday.
And then this year I've made a point of booking both Manias off because there's no way I'm going to do what I did last time. We watched night one, goes into, then you go to work on night two, then you go watch night two and you're still tired from watching night one. Then that leads into the Monday. So by the Monday, you're like 4 hours sleep across 2 days and you're like, this can't. No. One night of Mania was enough, and then going to work, and you're like, oh God, longest shift ever. Yeah. So yeah, these shirts balanced out.
Yeah, and we'll be back hopefully next week, and we'll go through our predictions and see who was wrong the most, and we'll laugh at the loser.
We're not laughing at any loser because I'm more worried that your crazy predictions are just that crazy that they might happen. I'll just watch it, and I'm just going to be like, fuck's sake, man. How does he do this? Unless you're on the below club.
I have no information.
I suppose that you're in an Okada like that, I've heard, from your New Japan days and stuff.
I don't speak a single word of Japanese, mate.
There's always text messages.
I know, yeah. Right, until next week then.
Till next week, and yeah, happy Royal Rumble weekend.
Yeah, live long and prosper and all that.
Too sweet. Bye-bye.